In the small town of Pikeville, Kentucky, nestled deep in the Appalachian Mountains, lies a story of love, loss, and horror. Along with the famous Hatfields and McCoys, another prominent but lesser-known family associated with the area was the Hatcher family. The Hatchers were an elite and wealthy family in the late 1800s, but as they would come to find out, tragedy makes no exceptions for the rich. Octavia Hatcher was born on May 21, 1870, to Jacob and Pricey Smith. In 1889, she married James Hatcher, a local businessman who made his fortune in timber and coal. He owned thousands of acres of Pike County land, property reaching from the city of Pikeville to present-day Coal Run. At 20 years old, Octavia gave birth to her first and only child, Jacob, in January of 1891. He died almost immediately, sending Octavia into a spiraling depression. By April, she had fallen into a coma, and on May 2, 1891, Octavia Hatcher was pronounced dead. While many of the townspeople believed she had mourned herself to death, her official cause of death was listed as an unknown illness. Because of the hot and humid May weather, the townspeople wasted no time in burying her. Embalming was not yet a practice, so Octavia was laid to rest immediately after her funeral in the Pikeville Cemetery on Johnson Cemetery Road. Not long after her death, other residents began falling into a similar comatose state. This mysterious sleeping sickness led James Hatcher to wonder if his wife had been buried prematurely. He ordered an emergency exhumation, and Octavia's casket was opened to reveal a horrific sight. She had awoken from her coma to find herself trapped underground. The coffin, which had not been airtight, likely meant that Octavia had been alive for several days before suffocating. It is unknown what exactly the mysterious illness that swept the city of Pikeville at the time was. Many believe it may have been related to a mosquito bite or toxic gas escaping from a local coal mine. Perhaps the most far-fetched theory was that it was caused by the bite of a tsetse fly, an insect native to Africa. Octavia was reburied, and James Hatcher had a life-size marble statue of his late wife built on her grave. Later, he built the Hatcher Hotel, where the East Kentucky Exposition Center is now located. James never remarried and was buried near Octavia's gravesite in a casket custom built for him. There are no records of what exact specifications the coffin had, but many wonder if it was built to prevent him from suffering the same terrible fate that his wife did. Over a century later, Octavia's story still haunts the town. Some local legends state that Octavia's spirit was angry at the town for allowing her to die in such a gruesome way. It is said that her statue would spin and face the opposite direction, away from the town, each year on the anniversary of her death. Because of this story, she became known as the girl who turned her back on Pikeville. The spinning stopped after a fence to ward off vandals was built by the modern Hatcher family, so it's likely that the statue's moving was simply a prank by nearby college students. An absence of news accounts of the event has been the cause of speculation among critics. Why would such a horrific event go undocumented? But Octavia was a member of one of Pikeville's elite families, so it's possible that reporting her death could have been a bad business decision in such a small town. Still, others believe that her death was intentionally covered up by her family. Local historians generally agree that Octavia was in fact buried alive due to the sheer amount of anecdotal evidence and the fact that the tale has remained mostly consistent throughout the years. However, there isn't a lot of documented evidence, so we can never truly know for sure. Octavia's death ultimately remains a mystery.